Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates.
Now, I have to ask you in this end, I have stayed away from this insider-outsider debate for the most part, but you waded into it yourself. You walked into that one, right?
I did not wade into it. I was invited by Kangana. She gave me an invitation. I took it because she's my colleague.
Now, here's the really slightly paradoxical part, right? There is a self-made woman and she said some things about you and others, and you reacted. And suddenly this whole conversation is presented as women fighting women. It's all about women. It's only women under scrutiny. And it happens in any argument. The moment women disagree on anything from period leave to nepotism, it's presented as a catfight. I just want to therefore step back from that and just ask you quite simply, how has it been for you as a daughter of middle class professionals from Delhi to make it in the industry?
I mean, it was really hard. It's taken me 10 years. My first release was in 2010. It's taken me 10, 11 years since I went to Bombay to be in this place. And of course, if you're a star child who's had a big launch, I mean, you see the Jhanvis and the Alias and the Sonakshis and Sonam, who's a dear friend of mine, and all of them, they get to this place where I am at in 1 year or 2 years. So of course, I mean, I don't think anybody denies that star kids have an easier launch and they have easier access. But for me, honestly, Barkha, it's really a question of privilege. And I feel that privilege exists everywhere in the world, in every industry. Tomorrow, if your children want to get into journalism, all your good works will benefit them. And they will have a head
up to a point, right? Up to a point, right? If they're going to be useless journalists, where's that going to take them? Right?
No, but I'm saying that even in
there are many star kids. There are many star kids who failed, and I mean, Kareena Kapoor said this. Kareena said this to me, and she said, "Look, the audience decides, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing I feel about news TV. People crib non-stop about it, and then they watch it, and they crib about it. And I think Kareena made the point that the audience reserves the right to make or break someone, and they're asserting it, by the way, with a whole lot of cancel culture right now, disliking trailers and all of that. So we are seeing the power of the audience there, right?
And I said this during this debate as well, that if you really care for outsiders, watch our films in theaters. Don't download them off uTorrent. Please buy tickets and watch our films. It's the best way to support outsiders. And that goes for any outsider, whether it's Kangana or me or Rajkumar, Nawaz, Irfan, whoever. So I think that, I think like everything else, Barkha, in public discourse in India today, we're losing nuance, all right? And I think I don't understand, like, beyond the point, it's sensational, it makes good headlines and it's great. But beyond the point, this constant accusatory culture, it isn't helpful. We're not resolving anything. Everyone's getting their backs up against each other. And it's like, really, what is the point of this conversation? I mean, for me, the only thing is that, look, I have my own journey, and just because I don't believe in this kind of you're with us or you're against us kind of idiotic binaries, So I've had my own journey. I respect your journey. You should respect my journey. I think that a lot of our independence and so on. I mean, what is the point if we don't know how to stand up for ourselves? And if it's another actress or another co-outsider who's doing it, it's unfortunate. But I'm really sorry. I am going to stand up, for myself after a point. It's what nobody did it for me. I literally had to fight for every close-up that was given to me. I mean, I have not even had the kind of trajectory that, for example, some of these other girls have had who were launched as heroines. I've literally worked my way up from one scene, two scene, supporting part, then protagonist. So I have a much keener sense than a lot of them about how, like, I literally remember moments when directors looked at the shot and then they saw my performance and they were like, okay, one sec, let's do a close-up on Swara. I've earned every close-up that was given to me in films. So, I mean, for me, it's nobody needs to give me lessons on the struggle, on the, all that. I mean, I think that we all have our journey and we know best what we went through.
Any regrets? I mean, you're too young to be asked that question, but ever so often along our journey, everyone looks back and says, I could have done that differently. I could have said that differently. I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done that.
I mean, I'm definitely, there's a lot of things that I think back and I was like, wow, I can't believe I did that. But I feel like hindsight.
Like.
I mean, so many things, I wrote, I wrote this bizarre, firstly I have all these open letters. My first open letter was actually in support, was to Anurag Kashyap, who is today, like, I think one of the biggest allies that I have in the industry, just in terms of someone who's a friend, who's a mentor.
Right.
Not mentor, but someone I can turn to for advice. And I remember my first open letter was against him and Piyush Mishra standing up for someone else. And now I'm just like, why the hell was I wading into that whole debate?
Yeah.
Like, I was just young and dumb and emotional, and you out of JNU, so like ready for a fight, and everything is kranti, that kind of thing. But I feel like, but that was me then, and I was being true to myself at that point. There are some films that I refused to even audition for, and they went on to become big hits because I didn't like the script, and I didn't realize at that point that the script is only the word. What you see is going to be visual, so there's going to be a lot more. I didn't know any better. But like, honestly, like at that point, I did the best I could. I was an outsider. I didn't know any better. I didn't really have people to turn to for advice. So I did the best I could. And, if also, I feel like, we are where we are because of the people we are. If I was not this person, I would not be here talking to you. I would not have done these roles. I would not be in flesh.
Sure.
So I think there's always a trade-off. So for every regret, there's also something you are happy to stand by. And so I really, honestly, I'm quite chill with my choices. And I wish I could wake up on time. That's my greatest regret in life, is that I can't sleep. So I wish I had, been more disciplined. If I could inculcate discipline as a virtue, that would be lovely.